Have you ever stared at two moves that looked almost identical, only to discover that one wins a Go game position and the other one loses everything? I think that is one of the most frustrating experiences in Go, because I believe that the strongest throw-ins work before they force your opponent to play in the wrong order. I didn't understand that until a real game taught me the lesson. In the top left corner I had exactly two candidates, A7 and A8. One move killed the whole group, the other one let black escape. Today I want to show you why this tiny sacrifice completely changed the way I think about life and death in Go game. When I first looked at this corner, I wasn't searching for a clever Tesuji. I was simply trying to choose between two moves, A7 or A8. That is it. They are neighboring intersections. They are taking exactly the same eye space. If someone had asked me before this Go match which move was better, I'm not sure I could have answered confidently. Then I imagined playing through both variations, and suddenly they weren't similar at all. Playing A7 starts a forcing sequence. Black captures, white throws in again, black captures again. Eventually the eye shape collapses. But if white starts with A8, the whole sequence changes. Black captures in a different order, liberties appear in different places, and somehow the group survives. That was a moment I realized something. The winning move wasn't winning because of where it was played. It was winning because of what it forced black to do next. This Go game local battle result was predefined before the first capture even appeared. This was probably the biggest mental shift for me. When I first learned throw-ins, I treated them as tactical tricks. You sacrifice a stone, you gain something later. Simple enough. But this position taught me something different. The sacrificed stone isn't really the move. In fact, if that stone somehow survived, the Tesuji probably wouldn't work the same way. The stone exists for one reason only – to force black into capturing exactly when white wants. Black isn't making an active choice here. Black is following a sequence that white has already started writing. Every forced capture changes the shape in Go match. Every capture determines which point becomes empty. Every point creates the next forcing move. The throw-ins isn't trying to leave. It isn't trying to make an eye. It's quietly controlling the rhythm of the entire local fight. And the question I'm asking myself before the move now is, what sequence does this stone force? One sentence kept coming back to me while studying this position. The Go board remembers history. I used to think eye shape was mostly geometry, but now I think it's also chronology. A board remembers which stone disappeared first. That's exactly why A7 works. The throw-in forces black to capture. The capture creates the next point where white wants. The second throw-in forces another capture. That capture creates the next vital point. Nothing magical happens. White simply controls the order in which the local position evolves. And once I saw that, I stopped thinking about the corner as two empty points. Instead, I started seeing a chain of forced decisions. The geometry barely changes, but the history changes completely. That is enough to decide whether the group lives or dies. It's fascinating that moving just one intersection away completely rewrites that history. After analyzing the position, I shared it on Reddit because I wanted to see another elegant throw-in examples. I expected people to post interesting life and death puzzles in Go game. Instead, something much more interesting happened. Several players immediately recognized the pattern. Some called it a throw-in, but others pointed out that it's closely related to a snapback. People linked classical variations like move one space further with snapback and suggested starting under the stones as another beautiful family of Tesuji. I realized I hadn't just stumbled onto one clever move. Accidentally, I found a doorway into an entire category of tactical ideas. One comment especially stayed with me. Some wrote that for stronger Go game players, seeing this move is almost like seeing a stone already in Atari. That made me smile because, from my perspective, it certainly wasn't obvious. But that's one of the things I love about Go. Every obvious move used to be someone's discovery. Every done player has shapes they recognize instantly because they've seen them dozens of times. And meanwhile, every experienced player has shapes that still feel mysterious. This position reminded me that the distance between those two isn't talent, it's more like exposure. You don't become better because someone tells you the answer. You become better because eventually you've seen enough beautiful ideas that your brain starts recognizing them naturally. Looking back, I'm actually happy I didn't immediately understand the whole position. If I had simply memorized that A7 was correct, I probably would have forgotten it after a few days. Instead, I compared it with A8. I asked why, I discussed it with stronger players. I discovered connections to snapback variations and entirely new Tesuji that I now want to study. Most importantly, I came away with a different way of thinking. Now, whenever I see a throw-in, I don't ask, what does this sacrifice accomplish? I ask, whose move order is this about to control? And surprisingly often, that is where the whole position is decided. So now I'd like to ask you the same question I asked the Reddit community. What is the throw-in that completely changed the way you see Go game? Maybe it came from a professional game, maybe from a tomb ago, or maybe from one of your own painful losers. I genuinely love to see it in comments, because if this one corner taught me anything, it's that every elegant throw-in has another lesson waiting behind it. If you enjoyed this throw-in personal analyze, subscribe for more Go lessons, strategy breakdowns, and full game reviews.